Hey guys, we're going to do a full-length video of the ride all the way up to the top of Arctic Valley here in Alaska. Now this is only minutes away from my house. So when I lived in Wasilla, I always tried to go up Hatcher Pass as frequently as possible because Hatcher Pass out in Wasilla is kind of similar to this. They built a ski resort over on Hatcher Pass over the years past, but since I've been living in Anchorage, I kind of miss the mountains. And just being able to turn and go uphill and be up in the clouds at times, even in the winter time, it's a beautiful place to visit. This road is open year-round, but when the weather gets bad, it's very hard to traverse this road even to get up to the ski resort. So they do recommend people that come up here often potentially bring tire chains, at minimum have four-wheel drive. There's usually a lot of other people that just tend to drive up and down this road, and they do it for mainly fun, and just like I'm doing today, it's just trying to get up here. I'm also going to be filming an additional video about my carnivore journey, and I'm going to be updating that. So if you're interested in learning more about the carnivore diet, absolutely subscribe to the channel, and we can definitely discuss that in a little further detail, because I've been losing a lot of weight with little to no exercise, and I've been using the carnivore diet most of all. It's one of my weight loss sustainable tools. But now let's get back to the video and start climbing this hill. Okay guys, this hill is a hill. I mean, it's pretty steep. We're climbing up a mountain. At some point we should be up in the clouds. And when I get up here around a couple corners, there's a nice little pullout. Actually, there's a couple pullouts all the way up through here. There's some on the right, there's some on the left. Some of them lead to some hiking trails. This is all pretty much owned by the military as far as I know. And we just get permission to come up here and use this a little bit publicly throughout the year. But at some point, the military could potentially just shut this road down and make it only used for them, you know, if we ever went into wartime or anything like that. There's a nice little trail over here off to the right. Looks like it turns into a hiking trail where you can go hike up the mountain a little bit. Now there are moose on this road. My wife and I, we saw some ptarmigan out here. This is where it starts to get a little steeper. As you can hear, the road is incredibly bumpy. That's just because I'm actually having to use some torque to get up the hill. Now the overall speed is 30 mile an hour and 10 mile an hour when passing troops that are hiking on the road. But so far, when climbing up the hill, I have yet to been able to maintain 30 miles an hour going up the hill. So I pretty much climb the hill in second gear. I do about 20 miles an hour. As you can hear in the vehicle, it bounces around a lot. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of chatter on the corners. Oh! Wow, that was incredibly rough. Now you can avoid some of that if you just hang over to the opposite lane, but you have to watch out for traffic coming down the hill. Sometimes that traffic's going a little bit faster than you care to approach them in the wrong lane. That is one way to avoid a little bit of the roughness on this road. Oh, here comes somebody now. Now the wife and I, we took a trip up here, it seems like almost a month ago, but we had a nice sunny day. The air show was going on here in town. We got to watch the planes fly like right over the treetops here. And there was a group of people up here at one of the main pullouts that have a really good vantage point over the top of Anchorage. I'll try to get you an image of that here in just a minute when we climb up that far. But it was a great sunny day. We got to take the top off the Jeep, which was amazing. That was the first time I ever took the top off my Jeep before. And the amount of freedom, you know, I understand why people buy Jeeps and they take the top off and they put soft toppers on them. I really get it now after doing it that one time, because it was absolutely fantastic. I mean, I can't really complain about that day. It felt, even though it was hot and the sun was beating down on us and we had no roof, it was like we had 360-degree air conditioning all the way around. So I really wasn't upset. Wow. I see a lot of people driving up here in Subarus and little tiny cars. They all have, a lot of them have four-wheel drive. Now, my wife said she came up here several years ago in her Dodge minivan to do some berry picking. That explains a lot of my suspension issues, by the way. Because I need new suspension for the minivan. I almost hate to fix that minivan, but it's so freaking reliable, and it's helped us out, especially when her Jeep decided it was going to go kaput. We had to put it in the shop and get a transmission. Now, that should be out of the shop here next week if I'm lucky. And then we'll be able to use it to take it out to Wasilla and hopefully do some more adventures. Oh, a little squirrel ran across the road. Yes, we do have squirrels here in Alaska. They're not very big. I grew up on the East Coast in New Hampshire, and we had these big, fat, gray squirrels. I used to do a little bit of hunting with them. After the first one I got, I wasn't particularly pleased with the meat quality. And it could have just been the wrong time of year. It felt really tough and really gamey. We see some bigger trucks coming down the road today. And if you have a larger truck and just want to get out of Anchorage, this is a fun little excursion just to get out and to go do something different, away from the hustle and bustle of the city. I mean, living in Anchorage by itself really isn't that bad. And I'm gonna cut to the inside of this corner just to get away from all that really, really bad bumps. I mean, they're pretty dramatic, but you should be getting close to that pullout I was talking about. Or maybe this is it right here. Oh, wow, it is. Okay. Without a whole bunch of cars here, it doesn't really look much like a pullout. I'm just gonna do a slow pan around so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. So everybody came up here when the air show was going on, and they were looking directly at the airport over yonder, that direction. And as you can see, most of the town is covered by clouds. And this is just absolutely beautiful up here. I love this. And then when I just turn around a little bit, I'm going to turn off to the left here, give you guys another shot of what the mountains look like. I mean, check those out. Isn't that just awesome? And this is like, what, 5, 10, maybe 15 minutes away from my house. And I didn't really realize it was here. I have never really come up here to experience this. And I just wanted to share this with all of you. We do have further to go up the hill. So we're going to get going. And I'm going to show you what the top of this hill looks like. Again, right outside of Anchorage, totally worth the trip. If you're in Wasilla, yeah, go take a trip up Hatcher Pass. Go experience Mother Nature at its best, because it's really not that far outside of Wasilla. And if you're going up the Palmer side of Hatcher Pass, the road is paved all the way up to the top, and you can go enjoy a paved road in the summertime and see some amazing scenery and capture some amazing moments with your family and your children. And since there's so much traffic that goes up there in the summertime, you know, kind of like this, we're not seeing a whole lot of wild animals hanging out here because it's a pretty well-traveled road. And the animals tend to just cross the road and disappear down the mountainside. So if we do get lucky and see something, I mean, that's going to be a real treat for all of us. But yes, up the bumpy road. I'm going to hit third gear. We're going to see if we can almost do 30 mile an hour, but my hopes aren't that high. And if anybody's interested in the vehicle I'm driving a 2000, they call it what is that, a TJ. I'm not too great on the Jeep lingo, but I do like the vehicle. It runs really well. It's got the little tiny 2.5 4-liter motor, 4-cylinder motor, 4 liter. but it does extremely well. It actually climbs, in my opinion, it climbs hills better than the 6-cylinder, because the 6-cylinder is a little bit heavier, but it's just, you know, hop, skip, and a jump. The thing just wants to go traveling up and down hills, wants to do stuff. That's the fun part about buying a Jeep. Even with the 4-cylinder, don't be scared of the 4-cylinder motor. These old AMC Jeep Eagle motors last forever. Now, this is probably the original motor in here, and I got over 223,000 miles on this Jeep. When I bought it off of Facebook from a guy that lives out here in Birchwood, Alaska, and he had this whole Jeep stripped all the way down to the frame. I'll try to remember to put some pictures of that, but the frame was rotting out. But the frame was rotting out from underneath this Jeep. And he bought a brand new frame, he coated it himself. He took all the bits and pieces, put it all back on top of this frame, and he put it back together. You know, as a lot of Jeep projects go, people only get so far on them, and then they just get tired of that particular vehicle, because he had like, I think 3 or 4 other Jeeps sitting in his yard. He had a daily driver, and this Jeep here was mainly used for his relatives when they came up here so they could travel out to the glacier. And I put a lot of work into this Jeep since I've had it. Recently I put a fuel pump in it. I don't think it would have climbed this hill so well with the old fuel pump, because it was really, really tired feeling. Put the new fuel pump in, this thing just wants to go up the mountain. I don't seem to have any problems at all with it now. It starts just fine every morning. But yeah, when the fuel pumps go out on these, it's a pain in the butt, because you gotta drop the fuel tank. I paid a shop to do it. They charged me about $1,000, but it was totally worth it for me not to have to potentially start a fire in my own driveway, because when you start messing with the fuel tank, you can have problems. Not on purpose, you can just have problems. And I'm not really set up to drain a fuel tank and drop a fuel tank in my yard. But some of the other things I've done to this Jeep, I replaced all the little rocker arms and the push rods and all that stuff, because I wasn't sure if the last guy, because he said he did it, but it was very inexpensive and it didn't cost me a lot. It took us about a day. I had a mechanic friend come over, I helped him out with it, and it seemed to work out. These guys just stand in the road. They're like, I don't know that the vehicle's driving up the road. I'm just gonna sit right here in the middle of the road and they can just go around me. This is the problem today. People just feel entitled. It's like, all right, I get it, you're using the road, but there's a car coming up the road. Anyhow, let's go. So it won't be too much longer. We'll actually get to the top of the mountain. I'll actually drive around the ski resort parking lot just a little bit to pan you around. I'll probably get the GoPro out, or maybe this camera too. So I'm running 2 cameras right now. My forward-facing camera is a GoPro Hero 10. The rear-facing camera, which is facing me and has the mic attachment, is a Insta360 X3. I plan on upgrading at some point to the X4 for my own personal use, because I like to do a lot of vlogging and it just holds in my hand very nicely. And if I want to do store, you know, shopping store type Alaska vlogging type content, it's super nice because I can have all the attachments in my hand. It looks like a weird looking cell phone in my hand. People don't really recognize it as a camera, so they're not as nervous when I'm moving about the store with that camera. So it's been a lot of fun vlogging with this camera. And I haven't been able to get out and do a lot of vlogs lately, mainly because, dude, I work like 70 hours. I'm a truck driver. I work 70 hours a week, and that won't last forever. I'm seeing some signs up here. We got to be getting closer. The road is way smoother than it was when it was on a dry day. Oh, this is an emergency telephone. So if you should happen to break down up here, you walk over to this phone here, and you can actually call for help. And I do believe that directly attaches to the military base, and they can help you out if you have an issue. They'll send an MP up here. Now remember, they're sending the military police up here. So if you're doing something nefarious, break down and have to use that phone, yeah, chances are you might be in a little bit of trouble depending on what the situation is. But if you're just having an honest breakdown, no big deal. They'll come up here, they'll at least get you off the hill, especially in the winter time. They'll do their best to come and rescue you and get you down. But I think up here, we got a sign up here, and it does get extremely steep right after this sign. Now, as you can see here, the sign says ski area, Anchorage Ski Club, Arctic Valley. It says retain speed. Because if you actually lose your momentum, especially in the wintertime, you are stuck just a little bit up this hill. Now, right behind me and next to me, there was a little tiny pullout, which gives you just enough room to, if you had to put chains on your vehicle, you can kind of safely get off to the shoulder, get some chains on the vehicle. And here's another one right here. In case you spin out, you can actually just chain up right there, you know, climb the hill. There's a road over here. I saw this last time I was up here. We're gonna go down this little road because I wanna see what is over here. We're gonna come right back and we're gonna head on up to the top of the hill. But I think I saw some people camping out here on this little cutoff last time I was out here. And I didn't wanna just get in their business and, you know, see what the heck they were doing and be nosy. But I wanted to see what's over here, and I'm guessing there's nothing. And I'm pretty darn right. Okay, so this looks like it could be a hiking trail. There is a warning sign on there, so there is some vehicle access for military purposes, I'm guessing. There's a hiking trail off to the left. What does that say? Okay, it says U.S. Army installation. Trespassers will be prosecuted, and some ding-dong decided it was a good idea to practice with their gun here. That could get you in big trouble on military property. Don't do that. And over here, somebody threw some trash on the ground. It just happens to be like a door. I don't know why they would just come up here and come all the way up here to put a door on the ground. I mean, that's almost insulting to the rest of us. You know, when they go through those lengths just to throw their garbage out up here in such a beautiful place. That really annoys a lot of us here in Alaska when people just do stuff like that, because you find it all over the state. Heading back now. We're gonna take this turn up the hill, but it was still worth seeing what's over there because you just don't know. You can't see it because of all the vegetation. This is a steep hill, so I don't know if I'll even be able to get out of first gear now that I made this corner because it's extremely rough. Okay, ooh, maybe I can shift it. Let's see. 1, 2, oh, a little bit. Ooh, let's go. Okay, we did it. We're in second gear. Holy moly. Now we've just had some monsoon type rains just recently. You can see how it's washed out a lot of the gravel, and it just makes it a little more difficult to climb. Also looks like I'm following somebody else's tracks coming up here. That was a smart person to take this line because it's a lot better than some of the other lines coming up through here. On camera, I get it, it doesn't look that bad, but it's really steep. I mean, I'm kind of laid back in my seat. I mean, this is like a 45-degree angle. Wow! And you see how they cut over here. I mean, this is a halfway decent line coming up here, especially when it's all rutted up. And right up in front of us now, this is the Arctic Valley Ski Resort. Now, on a busy day, nice day, you'll see a lot of people parked alongside here in the driveway. A lot of people hike up through here. There is a hiking trail up here, so if you guys just want to get out and go for a casual type hike, this is a great place to just get out and have a casual type hike. There is no rules that you have to climb to the top of the mountain here. But now we are at the parking lot. So if you were to come up here skiing, you can see all the way up the mountain there. So there's kind of like a, I don't know if that's a chairlift. I don't think that's a chairlift. Oh, there is a chairlift over there. But yeah, we're gonna take a little stroll around the parking lot just so we can get a great camera angle. There's another type chairlift over here that travels all the way up there. I mean, still pretty cool. This looks like the ski lodge directly in front of me. I've never been up here in the winter. Never really wanted to come up here in the winter time either. So, you know, there's that to mention. Now, this little building over here is kind of a little cafe. What is it called? Is that Rendezvous Cafe? Okay, now when that's open, I guess they sell some drinks and stuff like that. Now off to the side here, you can see someone's dog hanging out. Now off to the right, if you look at where there's dogs running up the trail, right there, this is a hiking trail that leads all the way up the mountain. It's not too bad. I mean, if you're really out of shape, I wouldn't recommend just trying to bomb up this mountain because it would take a little bit of effort to get up there. Now we're going to turn around a little bit and take a look around the other side because there's two parking lots up here. There's also an Alaskan style outhouse, which is down over there by this school bus. So if you get all the way up in here and you have to use the potty, you have little kids, this is a great place to come, you know, hang out with your kids, do a little bit of hiking. You know, if somebody needs to go to the bathroom, you know, there's a bathroom up here. My apologies, I forgot I had my keys hanging off there. That must have been incredibly noisy. We're gonna take those off the key ring and just leave the regular key there. But this is the lower parking lot that we have here. And in the summertime, there's people that pull up here in RVs and pull behind campers, especially on the weekends. I'm really surprised there's nobody here. I believe this bus that's up here is all year round. There's a nice little picnic type area over here. And then there's, right behind this Toyota pickup, it's kind of like a public bathroom type outhouse situation that we have all over Alaska, especially when you get out to the remote parts. Even up the Dalton Highway, they have something similar. Snow removal equipment over here. Now we're gonna head on up to the upper parking lot and just take a basic look around. Probably get you outside the car a little bit and show you around. Get some better images with the GoPro, so that way you can just see everything. And I think this whole journey here might have cost me, in round trip, maybe $10 worth of fuel. Because you're climbing the hill, you're using a little bit more horsepower to get up the hill. Then you got the ride back to town. Now we got these people out here, these are all hikers. They all look very experienced and they look ready for a journey. And they just pretend like I'm not even here, which is weird. You know, usually when I come up to these places and I see hikers or anybody doing anything, they usually come out and they're like, hey, what's up? But whatever, they're in their own little world. We'll let them be. Now, when the wife and I came up here, this was about the spot where we parked. Yeah, we just wanted to check the place out. Now again, you park up on a hill like this, you better make sure your car's in gear and your emergency brake's on, because if this thing rolls forward, it's going down the mountain. That would be horrible. So we've got our e-brake on. We're gonna set everything up. Now I'm gonna get you guys out of the car and we're gonna go check the place out a little bit, just to show you around what's going on. We're gonna take the GoPro out just to show you guys what is up with this place here. And since you won't be able to necessarily hear me with the other camera, I'll just take you and shut you off. Okay, the GoPro is getting incredibly hot, by the way, so I'm surprised it's even working. What a piece of poop. All right. So my GoPro is like an epic failure type camera. It seems like every time I try to do anything with GoPro, they overheat. This camera just shut off on me. So we're gonna have to get you outside with the other camera. We can capture the images off this camera, hopefully. But when GoPros overheat, they become a real nuisance. They're a problem camera. You know, especially when you're trying to do stuff like this, and then as soon as you get out to have some actual real footage, they like to just die. I don't know. I love GoPro. I love Insta360, but I get really, really good images. Walk away and walk back to the car because I forgot my freaking microphone in the car. that makes it like totally useless to walk away. But anyways, yeah, this is what we got going on here. Now I can't really see what's going on in my lens because it's really bright out here. But yeah, this is the adventure today. I'm happy to take you guys along. If you want to see more videos like this and just hear my opinions of places and fun stuff to do here in Alaska, I mean, yeah, definitely subscribe to the channel. We can do more content like this. And as always, follow me here on YouTube at Big Man Alaska. Take care, my guys.